I was addicted to anything I can get my hands on. I've done heroin, I've done cocaine, I've done acids and speeds, I've done amphetamines, I've done marijuana. I was heavily addicted to cocaine. I was really in love with speedballing, which is using cocaine and heroin together.
I started drinking beer and wine at 13 years old, led into smoking pot. Then in '71 started shooting MDA, and then about 1971 turned to heroin and just stayed strung out on it till '91.
I've been through a lot. You know, I've been through a whole lot, from watching my mother burn up in fire, you know, with two nieces and my son jumping out the window, and mainly God has changed my life, you know. And that movie there, I went through it twice, and I guess third time I don't think you get another opportunity to be able to prove yourself.
Heroin for almost 25 years. I started using it at 15, just purely out of just curiosity.
It got to the point for me where life was worthless, wasn't worth living anymore. It seemed that there was nothing I could do to trigger the success I thought I was capable of achieving. And for that reason, the drugs created for me another world, a completely different world from the one that was full of all that pain. I had to have it because the pain I felt when I didn't have it was too much to bear. I had to do something to get away from the pain. So drugs became my way of creating a different world, far removed from the pain I felt when I was sober.
I felt like I needed it. It centered my whole life, and it erased all the anxieties and all the tensions that I had.
I guess you could say I was born into it, because my whole family, pretty much on my mother's side, on my father's side, it was like a plague that hit the family. You know, I mean, addiction, as far as drug addiction and alcoholism. But I've always been embarrassed of my family, where I come from. I used to walk through the neighborhoods of the upper middle class, you know, and stuff, and you could see them in the summertime, and they had all this, you know, they'd all be in the living room or in the kitchen, you know, as a family unit. That wasn't my family, you know? And so I always felt bad about myself. I always felt, you know, real bad about myself. My self-esteem was very low. And so heroin, it made me feel different. It made me feel better. It made me feel, you know, accepted, you know, like when I was on heroin and I'd see these type of families, it didn't matter, because I was, you know what I'm saying? It just made me feel good about myself.
I think for me, the entire film resonated. Having been in love with a woman and losing a woman because of your addiction, I've been there. Having been in a space where I wanted to take a gun and kill myself, I've been there. Being at a point where I felt there was no hope, there's no way out.
I relate to the story during a crucial time in my life when basically I was going through a divorce, you know, and I was like bottoming out, and it was like I was falling apart at the seams, basically.
What I related to is that I lost my family, you know, along the way.
It's interesting that that apartment. I was looking at that scene about that apartment, and I guess we've all lost things in our life, you know, important things in our life at one time or another. But that was when I was looking at it, I could relate it to being like in prison cell. I did 22 years in prison, and that was my apartment, 36D. You know what I'm saying? And I remember a lot of times in that cell when they lock us all down. I mean, as I got older and older, I mean, I was like, this is it. You know, that's all there is to it. You know, I mean, this is what my life has become.